video that's not about Minecraft. Well, it kind of is. It's about Minecraft dungeons. And so you should so you probably know, if you ever played Minecraft Dungeons, there are a whole slew of DLCs. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it adds a lot of extra content to the game. And so in this video, I'm going to be ranking each DLC. So keep in mind that I am going to be adding the free update that was released alongside each DLC to add to its final place on the list. Okay, so on to my least favorite DLC, which, you know, I'm still not saying it's a bad DLC. It's still a really good one. It's just the worst out of all the DLCs that are released. Still really good gameplay in it, though. And that one would have to be Jungle Awakens. So it was the first one released, but it just wasn't the best. Like, some of the textures for things didn't look really good. And there was no free content released alongside it, as far as I know. Like, maybe some enchantments, but still, it's not much. And there wasn't much originality in it, and then the final boss didn't look very good, but then also it was just a little bit too easy and didn't really have enough original attacks. Although, still, it is in all fairness, it's still a really good DLC. And then, once I finally loaded into the game, I will, so I'll tell you what my second to least favorite DLC is. And that is the Flames of the Nether DLC, which a while ago I would have thought would be really weird, but it just actually wasn't as quite so good as I thought it was going to be. Not saying that it wasn't really good, it was still awesome. But there weren't really any original there still weren't really any original boss fights in it. It was just kind of ghasts. And then each level just kind of ended with you kind of going just kind of leaving. And then it still had some really cool things, like the exploration aspect, where it's the biggest DLC so far, at least. So here's the good things about it. So for one thing, it released alongside an awesome free update, where for one thing it added gold and ancient hunts and an entirely new merchant, which is awesome. So in the DLC, there are a ton of really awesome. So it is very exploration oriented. The environments look awesome, but there is unfortunately no real story purpose for why you're exploring the Nether. You're just kind of going around, and it's kind of like how in vanilla Minecraft, there's really not much to do in terms of, there's the Nether is just kind of go to the Nether and kill things, and that's basically the Nether. But then in Minecraft Dungeons, there is some really cool gear. For example, we have the saw blade, which is basically so you can press A to attack, but then if you hold down A, you keep attacking. And then it has some really cool armor, like piglin armor. So all in all, pretty solid DLC, but still not my favorite. Still really like it, though. And then on to the third place. And this one, oh boy, I like this one. So, this one is, so now right now, the 2 contestants for first place are the Creeping Winter DLC and the Howling Peaks DLC. And which one's gonna get first place? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, and which one's gonna get second place? Creeping Winter. So, Creeping Winter is an awesome DLC. It's one of my favorites because it has so much originality in the story. Where it, like, you're playing in this, or in most of the DLCs, there's like the environment isn't really changed that much, but in Creeping Winter, like, the entire place has been like, it was once a lush and beautiful land, but then the entire place is just like covered in snow, and there's ruined fortresses, and it just has a really cool story where there was like a wraith that was corrupted and turned into a wraith that's worse, I guess. But and it also had some of the most originality out of all of it. And I was going to actually rank that one at bottom, but the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh, that was a pretty solid DLC. But then another reason I put it in second was because of the free content that came alongside it. So here's what the free content was. There was this whole new trading system. So the old trading system was basically loot boxes without microtransactions. You just kind of gave a villager money and hoped that you would get something good. Well, not real money, but emeralds. Oh, that's disappointing. Minecraft myths. So, but then they completely reworked the system. For one thing, they added a ton of new merchants, and such as the luxury merchant, which sold good items for a really bad price. And then, and you have to find them in level, so it's really cool. But then they completely reworked the blacksmith. And so now it upgrades weapons rather than just giving you weapons. But unfortunately, 7 merchants was too many. Because there are 6, and there was originally 2, and it added 5. So they removed one. The Wandering Trader. Because when he didn't really have much of a use anymore. Although it would have been cool if he spawned inside of levels and could, like, at certain points in the level, so we could sell you goods inside of levels. I think they should have reworked him like that, but it's still, they didn't really remove much when they removed him. And then, for our top spot, you already know what's in the first place, is the Howling Peaks DLC. Because you remember how I complimented the Creeping Winter for being very original? Well, the Howling Peaks just blows that out of the box. Or out of the park? So, unlike in every single other level in Minecraft Dungeons, the Howling Peaks has so many puzzles. Like, put this here, and then the door's open. Or something like that. Or then, like, there's those parts where you have to press a button, but when you press the button, like, a super dangerous monster spawns. And then the final boss is one of my favorite parts, because if you attack it, it only does 1 damage. And has a ton of HP. But if But there are these two little thingies, and if you stand in them, then it starts spawning enemies. And so if you clear both of those little thingies, then the final boss, which is like the Tempest Golem or something, just starts attacking you with better attacks, but becomes vulnerable. And then you can start attacking him, which stuns him. I think it's something like that. And then you can keep attacking him until eventually he closes up back again, and you have to keep doing that. And so that's super fun. But then it also adds all this really cool magic gear. And then there's these cool new illagers called like Wind Wakers or something. That sounded ridiculous. Because you know that would have been copyright claims if they did that. That was a bad joke. So I don't remember what they were called, but so they basically are just able to blow you away. And also, since that one has the most vertical, that DLC has the most vertical movement of any. It has all this like mechanical stuff. So of course, if you are climbing up a mountain, then these guys can just throw you off. So that's pretty cool. They're just really good in that scenario. So yeah, tell me. So, and by the way, I like all these DLCs pretty much equally, and the bottom two I criticized a little bit too much because they are all really good, and just for the sake of ranking, I did have to rank them, and that's just by the and so that's just by a little bit that they weren't all equal. So yeah, end of the video. Oh, also thank you for giving me like 433 views on the video I released yesterday. Like, that's crazy. Also, I gained a subscriber from it. And also that one guy that commented, those two guys that commented, dude, you're like the two commenters I have on my channel. Like, there's like 3 people that comment on my channel, not including myself. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, that's the end of the video. And consider subscribing. I guess that would be cool. Yeah, end of the video.